This is Carl at National RV Detroit, and I'm going to walk you through this 2021 Forest River Flagstaff Mac model 228 LTD tent camper. Alright, so this is going to be a supplemental video. The main video for, setting it up and bringing it down, there's a good manufacturer's video that you have access to that will go into great detail on that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go into some of how the thing works and go over some of the features of it, that sort of thing, okay? So here we are outside on the door side, of course. Now the awning, you'll unzip it. Most people unzip it when the trailer's in the down position. But if you bring a ladder, or you're just tall for that matter, you can do it up there. But the thing is, when you unroll it, there's a rafter at the end. It goes out 8 feet, and there's a raft. Well, I shouldn't say that because I'm not sure if that one goes. Anyway, when you roll it out, there'll be a rafter that runs the width of it, and the legs and everything are stored right in that. They just swing out, so it's very easy to set up, and you never lose any parts. The only parts that aren't in it are 2 stakes that come with it that you can use to stake the legs to the ground so people don't actually kick them out when they're hit them in the dark or something like that, or the wind gets a hold of the awning. So keep that in mind. But everything's stored inside. It's a very, very good awning. You also has a zipper track on it if you wanted to add a room, that sort of thing. So okay. So this rail here, you have a table that sits on here, just a utility table. This is power, obviously. A porch light. Now this travel door comes off. I have it on here right now, but by the time you come to pick it up, you'll see that it's off when you stow it. And so you basically will hang it underneath here. You can see there's some hinges or half a hinges there. You'll hang it there and swing it up and use that bungee cord around the handle to hold it in place when you're camping. Okay. I don't know why exactly this is open like this. I didn't do that, so I don't know. But also, go a little farther. The cooktop can be used inside or outside. You have to, let me take this off right now. Let me set it down here. It has to be plugged in. There's a port here, right down here. You see it? You pull it open, and you can pull out the LP line, which has a quick connect on it, right? So you just snap that on to the back of the grill, and there's a valve right there for it, okay? Right, the black valve, okay? So that's how you hook it up. On the back of it, when you take it off, you'll see that there's a male fitting that hooks onto. You can also do this inside with this, the same thing. So it can be used inside or out. Alright, so let's see here. You have a power tongue jack, which is a great thing. So just up and down, it runs off the battery. And when you bring it up, you want to remember that this is the tension line here. You should just bring it up till this is taut. The reason you do that, if when it's taut, it's at the right level for the screen door to fit in properly. Okay? Alright, so deep cycle marine battery, as I stated. This is the controls for the refrigerator. Obviously the door is inside, but the controls are out here. This is a 3-way refrigerator, meaning it'll work on 3 different energy sources. So, let me see here. Right now it's cooling on AC power. See, the green one is AC, it says right there. Right? Now if you wanted to keep it cool going down the road, you can put it on DC and it'll draw energy from your battery, and then the battery will be charged by your tow vehicle's alternator. So you can keep it running that way. But when you're plugged in, you're always going to use this. You also can light it on gas if you want. But like it says here, only use 1 energy source at a time. Never double up on them. You never use DC and AC power or AC power and gas. Just 1. Alright? This little spy hole here is so you can tell whether it lit or not if you're going to use it on LP gas. To light it, you just go like this. You go to high, depress the button, and spark it right there. You hold that down for a minute or so, and then just let it go, and you're all set. It'll operate. And then shut it off when you're not using it. But like I said, we're using AC right now, so 1 energy source. That's all. I took this cover off. You have to take it off to access it. You can see how the slots here are horizontal. To get them off, you just switch them to vertical and then pull it off, okay? While we're down here, this is the sink drain. You can just use a piece of a garden hose or make a hose up from the hardware store and make it as long as you want. You can drain it into a bucket or a sewer or wherever you want to go with it. This is the city water connection. Let me get on my feet here. Okay. This is the most common way to get water to the trailer. You just hook up your city water and you're ready to go. Now if you're at a campground that doesn't have city water, you can pre-fill the fresh water tank and then use the electric pump inside to pump the water. Everything will work just like you have city water. But you only use this if you don't have city water. If you're going to a state park, like some of the older state parks don't have plumbing on the campsites, they got a fill station when you first go in. You fill this up and then turn on the pump and you're ready to go. Okay? Now you have air conditioning. So you have to remember the power cord goes into this port here and it plugs in up there. So you always plug it in before you take the roof up. So you don't have to get a ladder to get it and put it and plug it in. So you just always make sure you plug that in before you crank the roof up. Okay? This is your power cord, 30 amp and 30 feet long. This plugs right into there. Okay? And of course you've got a spare tire. Now this does not come with a jack or a lug wrench. So you want to get a good T-handle lug wrench and just a small jack, a bottle jack will work, whatever. Just in case you need to change out a tire, okay? It's not very heavy, so you don't need a heavy-duty jack. Just a simple $20 bottle jack would do it, for example. You get a foot square piece of plywood to set it on, and you're all set. Okay, so let's go inside. Like I said, I'm skipping the setup. You can learn about that when you pick it up. We'll show you, and also you can refer to the manufacturer's video. All right, so if you notice, this is the sink in the up position here. If I do this, the lights go out. The reason that is there's two kill switches underneath there. They put those there so when you're traveling you can't accidentally turn things on like the furnace or something that would cause trouble, so it just kills the power to it. So keep that in mind that it's there. On this one there's not hot water in this trailer, so the city water is on this side. So if you're hooked up to city water, you use this faucet here, and like it says here, if you're using the demand tank, you use this one here. Before you use the demand tank, you got to turn on the water pump, which is right here. That switch right there is the water pump. Okay. Okay. Well, while we're here, I'll just continue right here. All right. So that's obviously a USB there. Now this one right here is your carbon monoxide and LP gas detector. So if there's an LP gas leak or carbon monoxide buildup, it'll go off and alert you. It should always be green like it is now. If it's not, you get it serviced. But it has one more feature. If it beeps very slowly, it's telling you that your battery's low. Excuse me. So there's a button on here to do a self-test. It'll do two tests. First LP, and then it'll do carbon monoxide, then it'll alert the low battery, just so you can hear it. So I'll do that right now. That's LP, coming up carbon monoxide, and then low battery. And then back to green. It should always be green. Okay, now this device here is the power converter. So what this does, it converts AC to DC power. So it starts off with 110 AC, which is regular household current. You see you have regular circuit breakers here, just like you would have at home. And they're labeled. And then the power is converted to 12 volt DC on this side. You got 12 volt fuses here. Okay. Now if any of those fuses were to blow, you'll actually see they kind of light up and you'll see that. But they will not blow. It's very rare. Also, when you're plugged in, this is a battery tender, so it'll keep your battery charged when you're plugged into to power. So when you're towing the vehicle, or when you're towing the trailer with your tow vehicle, your alternator will charge the battery, and when you're plugged in, this power converter charges the battery also. Okay. So the table, obviously, it sits on these cleats, these 4 cleats when you're in the stowed position when you're traveling, and then you just set it up, obviously, when you're using it as a dinette. You can also drop it down and use it as a bed. You just use the back cushion to fill it in, so you can use it as a bed. Also, this couch here, if you just grab it down here and pull it out, it will also turn into a bed. So You got 2 beds plus 2 bunks. So you're in good shape when it comes to that. All right, so the mattresses have these warmers. They're not heaters, they're warmers. They don't get hot, it just takes the chill out of it. So this side plugs in to that port there on the mattress, if you can see it. And then the other end just goes into the nearest 110. Okay? Same thing with the other side, you get 2 controllers. This bag is just for their power cords, it's a storage bag. Okay? Let me walk over here for a second to see what else we've got. This is your crank for the stabilizers, although you can use a 3/4 inch socket on a drill. A lot of people use that. This is a spatula that comes with it. This is just a packet with basically literature on all the components of the trailer. Okay, so you can always read about that. Let's see what else we got in here. Nothing in there. There should be keys here. Oh, their keys are right here. These are the 2 tent stakes I told you about. Okay. Now, when you set the, you can set the range top, cooktop inside here. You just pull that rubber LP hose that I showed you. Instead of pulling it through the port on the side, you'll pull it up through here and plug it into the to the cooktop, so you could use it in here. All right. Let's see what else we have. That's your furnace, of course, and here's the thermostat for it. It should always, to shut it off, it's always clicked all the way to the left. Turn it on, like that, shuts off, like that. It's got to click over. Now, as soon as I shut it off, the flame will go out, right? But it'll still cycle through its entire cycle, so it takes another minute or so. It'll keep running, but the flame is off. It makes 3 attempts to light. It'll always light within the 3 attempts. It's all automatic, so you don't have to worry about it. It will light. Your air conditioner has controls on it, just like you would at home. It's got the back one is a thermostat, and then this one is 2 fan speeds, which is just the air conditioner running without the compressor, and then 2 cooling speeds. That's the whole thing running with the compressor, so that's air conditioning. All right. You also have a smoke alarm. I'm not sure if they put the battery in it, but let me look here. Yes, it's in there. Okay. All right, so let me look around and see if I forgot anything. Excuse me. I think I pretty much got it. There's storage every place you can fit it. You've got your light switches there, your master light switch, but all the lights will have you can shut them off here also with a button in the middle. Your fire extinguisher, of course, and that's just a cup holder there. It's always a kind of a curious thing that they put it on there, but they do. Actually, it's sturdier than it was. It's a newer design, so that's neat. So, okay, so basically the thing to know about maintenance and how to treat this thing is, if you have to put it away wet, you open it up the first chance you get and you let it completely dry out. Never store it with wet canvases or you will get mold. If you let it dry out, you won't. It's that simple. Also, you have to inspect the seals on this trailer, like all trailers. All trailers are the same. You have to inspect them. So, there are, on each corner of the roof, on the outside, there are plastic caps. You'll see corner caps. Check the caulking on that. You'll check every place you see caulk from the factory on the sides. It's clear caulk. You check that. You do that every 90 days or so. So figure 3 times a season. You go around, it'll take you 20 minutes. You just look it over, make sure all the sealant is good and tight. When it comes time to reseal, because some year you're going to have to do it, you don't use caulk from the hardware store. You only use in this case, clear Proflex. Comes from an RV place. It's only $10 for a caulk tube, and that'll last you forever. It's not, it's a cheap way to go. Odds are, as you inspect it, you're not going to have to do anything for years, but you just inspect it just in case. It flexes down the road. They're all individual in that sense. So you want to take care of that. The bottom line is, if you keep after the seals on your trailer, it'll never get water inside in the building materials. And you can always tell when you go into a trailer and you smell that musty smell and the floor is soft and things like that. That means they did not inspect the seals and keep them tight. That's not this trailer, like I said. It's every trailer ever made. It's the same way. So make sure you do that. It has to be winterized in the winter time. Obviously, that's antifreeze in the system. With this little bit of plumbing, you might be able to just blow it out if you want, but you can use antifreeze. If you were to open this bench here, there's 2 screws holding it shut now. These screws are all the screws in the trailer are number 2 square-headed screws. So you get a number 2 square-headed bit for your drill. You unscrew it, you open the top on this, and you'll see the water tank is inside there, right? And on the water tank, there's at the bottom, there's a valve, so you can drain it, right? There's also the water pump is also in there, and you'll see in between the water pump and the water tank, there's a line, and it has a valve on it with a barb, right? So to winterize, you would push a hose onto that barb, change the position of the valve, so you draw through that barb through that hose, and take the other end of the hose and you put it into a gallon of antifreeze. You turn on the water pump, and then you would just open the faucet and it'll push all the water out and replace it with antifreeze. So as soon as you get solid antifreeze coming out, you know it's winterized. So it's very simple. You can educate yourself more if you don't already know. You may know all this already, but you have to winterize it so it doesn't freeze in the wintertime, okay? So I guess that's about it. I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. And remember, I want you to, it's important for you to inspect the seals, 3 times a summer. The spring, middle of the summer, and the fall. And never put it away wet and leave it that way. You always got to open it up. I mean, if you're not going to use this thing for a summer, still a couple times in the summer, you want to open it up. You want to unzip all the windows so the screens are open, and just let the wind whistle through it. I can't tell you that enough. It likes fresh air, so you always want to let it air out. Even if you're not going to use it, you got it in the backyard or the garage. Open it up, and on a sunny day, and just let it breathe. Okay. And these things are built very sturdy. They're very well-made trailers. So I've been dealing with Flagstaffs a long time, and believe me, they're in a class of their own. So. Okay, well, thank you very much, and make sure you do your maintenance. Thank you.